Some stories don't come from strangers. They come from the people we thought we knew, like your own father. When I was cleaning out my father's safe, I thought I'd find some documents, maybe old letters or a dusty photo album. I didn't expect a videotape, a VHS, labeled in his handwriting. Just 2 words. For Emma. That's my name. At first, I smiled, thought it was something sweet. A message from before his stroke, maybe. He couldn't speak anymore, so this felt like a gift. But what I saw on that tape, it didn't feel like a gift. It felt like a curse.
My name is Emma. I'm 31. I work at a dental clinic. Nothing fancy. I live in a quiet apartment outside the city. A year ago, my father had a massive stroke. It left him unable to speak, almost unable to move. We were never that close before. He was quiet, distant, cold even. Mom died when I was 13. After that, it was just the two of us, and it never really worked. He didn't hit me, didn't drink, he just wasn't there. Not emotionally, not the way a father should be. But after the stroke, he became my responsibility, so I took care of him every evening, after work, feeding him, changing him, talking into silence.
One evening, while I was organizing his old desk, I found a small iron key taped under a drawer. I don't know why, but my heart skipped. I recognized it immediately. His safe. It had been locked since I was a kid. He never let me touch it, never told me what was inside. So I waited until the next day, a Saturday. I made him breakfast, put on the TV for him, and went back into his office. The safe clicked open like something out of a movie. Inside, a few folders, a silver watch, some old coins, and then the VHS. For Emma. His handwriting, sharp, precise. My hands were shaking as I held it. I had to borrow a VCR from a neighbor. Who still owns one in 2025? I plugged it in, popped the tape in, sat down. The screen flickered, and there he was. My father, younger, healthier, sitting in the same office I'd just cleaned. He looked into the camera for a long time, then sighed. Emma, if you're watching this, it means I'm gone. Or, as good as gone. There's something you need to know. Something I could never say in person. My chest tightened. You're not who you think you are. And that's when everything broke. Emma, you were born in April 1994, but that's not when your story started.
Back then, I worked for the government. Not the office job I told you about. Something darker.
I was part of a unit that handled witnesses, dangerous ones, people who knew things they shouldn't.
Sometimes we helped them disappear. Sometimes we made sure they couldn't talk again. I paused the tape. My throat was dry. Was this a joke? I looked at my father, paralyzed, staring at the ceiling in the next room. Then I pressed play again.
In '93, we were assigned to protect a woman. Her name was Vera. She witnessed something she shouldn't have, involving people way above our pay grade.
We hid her, changed her name, gave her a new life.
6 months later, she gave birth to you.
We never found out who your biological father was. She never said, only that she feared he'd come looking.
And then she was gone, poisoned. One morning she just didn't wake up.
I covered my mouth. My heart was pounding.
There was no family left, no one to take you. So I did.
I erased your records. I made you mine. I gave you my last name. I tried to raise you as best I could.
But I never knew how to be a father, especially not with that kind of secret.
The screen glitched. Then he looked straight at the camera.
I don't know if I did the right thing. Maybe you deserved the truth long ago. Maybe you'll hate me. Maybe you should.
But everything I did to protect you. The screen turned black. Just like that. I didn't move for 10 minutes. I just sat there, holding the remote, listening to the silence press against my skull.
That night, I couldn't sleep. I lay in bed, staring at the ceiling. Just like he used to. My whole identity felt like a costume someone zipped over me as a baby. Who was Vera? Was that even her real name? And who was my real father? I didn't know what scared me more, that he might still be out there, or that maybe I'd already met him and never knew. I went back to the safe the next morning, looked through every folder, every slip of paper. One thing caught my eye, a photo of a woman holding a newborn. No name, no date, just one handwritten note on the back. She never told him. Good. My skin crawled. I took the photo to a private investigator, an old friend of my mom's, actually. He owed her a favor. I told him the truth, or as much as I could stomach. He said he'd look into it. A week later, he called me. We need to talk, in person, somewhere quiet. We met at a park. He handed me a small file. Inside, a name. Alexei Durnov. Former military intelligence. Last seen in Vienna. Wanted by multiple agencies. For what, it didn't say. Then he looked me dead in the eyes. Emma, I don't know how to say this, but the records show he was with Vera around the time you were born, and he might still be alive. I walked home shaking, heart racing. Who was I now? A dental assistant with a criminal dad? Or a ticking time bomb in someone else's story? I didn't tell anyone what I learned. Not my friends, not even my therapist. It felt radioactive, like even saying it out loud would somehow summon him. Alexei Durnov, my possible father. A ghost with a war record and blood on his hands. My real father, the man who raised me, couldn't speak anymore. But every time I fed him or helped him sit up, I wondered, did he still remember the tape? Did he regret making it? Did he wish I'd never opened that damn safe? One night, I sat beside him in silence. Then I asked, would you do it all again? His eyes moved, just slightly. And then, a tear rolled down his cheek. Just one. He couldn't answer. But maybe that was the answer. I never contacted Alexei. I could have, but I didn't. Some truths, they don't set you free. They leave you heavier than before. And I wasn't ready to carry more. I kept the tape. I locked it in my own drawer. Maybe one day I'll watch it again. Maybe not. But at least now I know. The truth isn't always what we think it is. And love doesn't always start the way it should. Some stories don't come from strangers. They come from the people we thought we knew, like your own father. Thank you for listening to my story. If it stayed with you, if it made you think, leave a comment. I'd love to know what you would have done in my place. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Your support helps bring more stories to life. See you soon.